Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this, I say impromptu members video. It's a members video / free-to-air video, so to speak, but you don't give a shit about that, so let's just crack on with it. So I've just done a 6-minute, well, technically it was a 4-minute introduction, and my battery just died on me because I completely forgot to plug it in because I'm a fucking idiot. And yeah, I was telling such amazing insight into this upcoming double game week, my thought processes on Liverpool and the Real Madrid and Millwall and Burnley. Fucking hell. So now this is technically take 2. And yeah, so let's start again, shall we? I feel like I'm repeating myself, but anybody watching this won't have a clue what I'm going on about unless you remember where I've just deliberately uploaded a specific video. So essentially, the usual routine of waking up, going downstairs for breakfast, and put TalkSport on, as I always do, with Paul Ross in the morning. And yeah, the news came up at 3 o'clock, and all I hear were the lines, and Liverpool have got a big task at hand after losing 5-2 to Real Madrid. And I'm thinking, fucking hell, 5-2. Well, at least they got 2 goals at the Bernabeu. That's the main thing. We'll get onto that bit in a minute. That mistake before someone's... It was at Anfield, you cunt! I know what you like. So I'm thinking, Jesus, 5-2, okay. Definitely got to see the highlights. So I then thinking, right, but I don't care about that. All I care about is Burnley's result. Burnley's against Millwall last night. So it gets the sports news. And all I hear is, and Burnley are continuing their domination up the top of the championship. They are now 12 points clear of second spot. And I'm like, woohoo, we must have won last night. However, they did only draw last night with a late equaliser from Millwall, making it 1-1. Oh, fuck's sake. So, I was genuinely actually dejected at that point. I'm just thinking, I know I said to my uncle and I said to a few people that I would have taken a draw before that game. But it's all about circumstances, isn't it? And then, you know, offering and seeing that you are conceding a goal in the 85th minute and then when I watched the highlights to the Burnley game and seeing, as always, the amount of chances we miss, and fair play to Company. He has come out and he did say, look, when you don't take your chances and everything, we created enough and so on and so forth. This is what happens. But he's very happy at the fact that we've come to, and let's get real here, we've come to London. We've played 2 of the best teams in the division at the moment in Luton and Millwall, who are both in the playoffs. You know, Luton are 4th and Millwall are 7th, but literally by goal difference that they're 7th, behind Sunderland. And 1 point behind Watford and 1 point behind Luton. That's how tight it is in that division here. I mean, in fact, 4th down to 10th in West Brom. In fact, Coventry in 11th is covered by 5 points. 8 points down to Swansea in 12th. / Hull / Preston. All on 42. That's how tight that division is. In fact, from 4th place Luton with 50 points, all the way down to 21st in Rotherham with 33. That's how tight that division is. I mean, you look at the teams in the top 3 spots, or top 5 spots in the Championship. You've got Burnley that have lost 2. Sheffield United have lost 7. Middlesbrough are the slight anomaly here, losing 10, and then Luton and Watford has lost 8 and 9 games respectively. The rest of the teams from 7th downwards all the way to the bottom in 24th have lost a minimum of 10 games. 10, 13, 12, 11, 11, 12, 13, 12, 11, 15, 14, 14, 15, 16, 13, 17, 15, 15. Now, because Jason showed me The Last of Us, I'm going to do the scene in the first episode. 1, 2, 3, 4. You get the idea with that. And if you haven't seen The Last of Us, then that joke's completely gone over your head. It's not even a joke, Steve-o. But certainly, yeah, going to Millwall and Luton and getting 4 points, winning 1-0 at Luton and drawing at Millwall is exceptional results. Exceptional. So, really, I'm happy that we're just keeping a tight ship. I love the fact that company has installed this. We're a team ethic. We're not a bunch of individuals. If you've got a problem with that, piss off. I don't want you in my team if you're not going to fight for Burnley. It's great. It's fantastic. So you have to watch it. I was even going to go to that game, actually, truth be told. But unfortunately, I was warned by a guy at work. He basically just said, look, don't bother. It's a shithole. And to be honest, if you were found out that you're a Burnley fan, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to, for instance, when Ashley Barnes scored, I'm not going to be like, hooray! No. But I don't think it's going to be like QPR where when we scored, I just went, hooray! I'm not going to scream or shout, but I just gently clapped. I think people knew that I was probably a Burnley fan anyway, but if I'm at Millwall, I think he just said, look, if they find out you're a Burnley fan, you're just going to get shit for the rest of the game. You're not going to enjoy your experience. Plus, to get there, it's fucking ridiculous. It would take me a total time of, I think it was an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes. That includes a 17-minute walk from the nearest station that I can get to get there. Surrey Quays. So I kind of debated in my head whether I wanted to go or not, and like I said, John kind of just put me off the idea. And like I say, the travel was so convoluted. It was something like District Line to the Elizabeth Line to the Northern Line to the Overground Line to then walk 17 minutes. Yeah, forget it. So obviously I didn't go. And yes, obviously find out this morning 1-1. But going back to the Bernabeu. So come upstairs and put on the highlights for the Burnley game first. And I'm like, oh yeah, may as well check out the Liverpool highlights in the Champions League. And I noticed that, it was at Liverpool. I thought it was at Real Madrid. Oh, okay. I generally didn't know. Because I was like, oh, well, Liverpool could potentially win 3-0 at home against... Liverpool could win 3-0 against Real Madrid. And yeah, from what I saw of the highlights, just individual errors led to goals. I'm sure there will be people. I mean, I know Jason sent me a quick message saying, like, has that result last night not put you off Liverpool? No. To be transparent, I have done a -8 so far, because my attitude towards this game at the moment is just, I'm so far off the pace with everybody in the various leagues that essentially I'm just like, oh, fuck this, just get this player, just get it done. Fuck me. So I did that on Sunday, I think. Saturday or Sunday, I did the moves. I just thought, fuck it. Done. And I'm probably going to be going upwards of the -12. Jason doesn't have a clue what I've done, which is good, because I don't want him to be, even though he can work out a couple of the players I've done, he doesn't have a clue what I'm going to be doing. And in his case, I'm pretty certain that he brings in, well, he definitely brings in Salah. He definitely brings in Salah. I don't care what he says on the stream, the brilliant stream he did the other day, and it was superb. The conversation with Mike was fantastic. Not taking anything away from Warfare or animations, but it's the fact that you hear a new voice. And then when you find out that Mike was been watching the channels for 4 years, which is virtually since the beginning, is even more mind-blowing. And yeah, when Jason said, "Oh, but Kevin De Bruyne against Bournemouth, you sure you're not tempted by it all and everything?" I think personally Jason's probably got rid of De Bruyne and possibly Kane, or got rid of Kane and someone else and brought in Salah. Either way, I believe he's brought in Salah. But we will, like I say, I highly, highly recommend joining us, all you hardcore Elite FPL fans. Highly recommend you joining us on Friday. I've scheduled the stream for 5:30, so it'd be nice to think that we'll get a few callers on that day as well. Means I don't have to talk. And certainly, I think that it's going to be fascinating to see Jason's reaction to the transfers that I've done. And if I decide to go to that -12, I probably will. There's a clue, Jason. I probably will be going -12. From my point of view, I think Jason either does a -4 or a -8. But is he going to be? Is he caring for this double game week? You may be wondering as well. Hold on a minute here, Steve. Am I wrong here? Isn't that your team up on screen? No, it's not. That is Harry's FPL Tips' team. There's a reason why I put his team up, because I'm going to go through the top 4 in the Members League who are doing exceptionally well this season. I mean, Harry is just fucking destroying everything in sight. I think he's pretty much top of every single league that he's participating in. And not only that, but he is in the top 2,000, which is absurd. It's obscene. Yeah, 1,756th in the world. And he is... Okay, ironically, he's 33rd in his own YouTube league. He's second in the BT league. So all his mini leagues, he's first in, apart from the London meets. So let's have a look at who's top of the London meets. Liam Jenkins is 8 points clear of Harry. He's 1,019th in the world. And when you see this player has got Dawson of Wolves starting ahead of Trent Alexander-Arnold this game week, it makes you fucking sick. Because this guy benched Trippier and Trent and played Dawson and Ben White. Now, I've got a rule, as you know. Always play a premium team player. Now, I would have played Trent ahead of Dawson for absolute certainty. Arsenal were away at Aston Villa, so I don't know why you would... Because if I'm thinking logically in this Liverpool game, like I said, I thought it'd be really, really tight against Newcastle this is. I thought it'd be really tight. Maybe Newcastle get a 0-0, 1-0, something like that, but to bench Trippier and play Ben White away at Aston Villa, who, you know, a team that likes to score goals, who likes to open up the play and everything, and there's Arsenal who, you know, ends up being 4-2. Now, however the circumstances happen, it ends 4-2. But yeah, looking at that team there in 1019th, I'm just like, fucking unbelievable. But anyway, but yeah, that's Harry's team up on screen. I just want to go through the top 4 in the Members League and just see how these guys are set up for the upcoming double game week and so on and so forth. But yeah, I think going back to the Liverpool game last night, and again, I can only go on the the highlights and what I can go off from whoscored.com with their ratings and whatnot. Look, it's Real Madrid at the end of the day. It's not Wolves, it's not Crystal Palace. So if people are, potentially going to be like, ooh, that's nearly my impression of Paul Bearer there. The Undertaker. But Real Madrid absolutely storming in the La Liga. I know that they're second place nuclear atoms before you say anything, but they are storming it. But the Vinicius Junior first goal is an absolute stunner. No one's stopping that. His second goal was just a freak of nature. Okay, you could argue, hold a minute, Mo Salah was the same. Yes, I know. That was a freak of nature. This Malacia or Eder Milito, by all accounts, it was his first goal he scored in the Champions League, or first goal for Real Madrid. And the other 2 goals by Benzema, just defensive, just silly. Well, the first one especially was just a midfield error. And then the second one was just a world-class goal. So in theory, if you were to take away these stupid mistakes, so the Mohamed Salah goal, it probably ended up 3-1 to Real Madrid. But that's by the by. And I'm looking at the ratings here. Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's a popular pick this week. I'm not getting him in, but he's a popular pick. He's on 6.9 in the defence. The rest of the defence, Gomez 5.3, Dyke 5.5. Do you like dicks or do you like dykes? There's one for the Bo Selector fans out there. Patsy, do you fancy me? And then Robertson got 5.5. Jesus Christ. Again, I'll do the line. You're aware you're recording this? Yeah. And then up front, with the popular picks, Nunes, who scored a goal. And by the way, there's a player in form there. 6.8. Gakpo, 6.8. And Salah got an 8.2. I think people that are wanting to double up, triple up on Liverpool, go for it. Absolutely. It's double game week for crying out loud. And I think the opportunity is there. I'm doubling up, but I think the opportunity is there if you really want to triple up. Absolutely. Wolves game, I think, has got clean sheet written all over. I know that. What makes me laugh about streaming sometimes is that then, as Jason pointed out to somebody, someone commented and said, yeah, but Wolves beaten 3-0. Yeah, slightly different. Slightly different circumstance in the sense of Liverpool were away from home and Liverpool are terrible away from home. The absolute pants, Liverpool. It's like Man City away from home. They're a completely different animal. They're Man City and Liverpool at home, you back and back and back all the way to the sun comes home. In the last 6 fixtures, Liverpool have lost 1, drawn 1 and won 4. Okay, they lost 2-1 to Leeds and they drew 0-0 with Chelsea. The other 4 matches, 2-0 against Everton, 2-1 against Leicester, 3-1 against Southampton, 1-0 against West Ham. 1-7, drawn 3, lost 1, scored 25 goals, conceded 9. Same as Man City. Apart from they've scored double the amount of goals Liverpool have got. Man City, 1-10, drawn 1, lost 1, scored 41, conceded 13. Wolves, on the other hand, away from home. 1-2, drawn 3, lost 6, scored a whopping 8 goals, conceded 17. Last 6 fixtures, lost, drawn 1, drawn, lost 1. This is away from home. The 2 games they won was away at Southampton 2-1, and they won at Everton. Here we go, Bilal, 2-1. The 2 losses were against Man City, where they lost 3-0, and they lost to Crystal Palace 2-1. The 2 draws were, it decides to come up, 1-1 against Brentford and 1-1 against Aston Villa. Crystal Palace, on the other hand, at home, 1-4, drawn 4, lost 4, so a hat-trick of 4s, scored 12, conceded 17. The last 3 fixtures, all drawn at home, 1-1, 0-0, 1-1. They lost 2. These are the last 6. They lost 4-0 to Tottenham. They lost 3-0 to Fulham. And they beat Southampton 1-0. So the pessimist in me thinks that Liverpool are going to be struggling in that game and may come out with it 2-1. Or we continue the pattern of drawing games 1-1 with Liverpool, albeit that Man United game was that Eze, Elise goal, whoever it was. Or the massive optimist in me is that when they're playing teams in form, Elise, Tottenham or Fulham, Liverpool are winning that comfortably by 3 or 4 goals to 0. So the upside in this double game week, if you are going to go down the route of Liverpool, is the upside is 2 clean sheets and potentially scoring upwards of anywhere between 4 and 8 goals. Potentially. Now, as Vince Chapman would normally say, and a lot of other people, well, that means then that they're not going to score any goals at all. Yeah, you're right. You know, is this double game week masking all the other single fixtures? Well, when I look at the fixtures for this double game week, Fulham Wolves, 0-0. Well, Mitrovic isn't playing, but 1-0 Fulham, 0-0. Potentially at a push, 2-0 to Fulham. Wolves ain't scoring in that. Everton Aston Villa, 1-0 Everton, 1-1. Maybe Aston Villa nick it 2-1, 2-0, 1-0. But it ain't going to be an easy game. Arsenal, I think Mike was right that that could be quite high scoring. You know, Leicester in a bit of form at the moment, scoring goals, although they didn't score against Man United, but no one scores at Man United at home. Arsenal, on the other hand, solid away from home. I would say that's going to be, well, based on form and everything, 2-0, 2-1 to Arsenal. Crystal Palace Liverpool, if I'm predicting it now, 2-1 to Liverpool. And then Arsenal Everton, there's your guaranteed clean sheet for Arsenal. That's 1-0, 2-0 to Arsenal. And then Liverpool at home to Wolves, I'd be predicting 3-0. So, you know, based on those simple predictions, just quickly scrolling through the fixtures here, I'm predicting Liverpool to score 5 goals, Arsenal to score 4, Everton to score 1, Wolves to score nothing. Now, whatever you want to look upon that, I mean, I haven't done direct research into it. I like to look into the, as you know, the history. History always comes through. Like I said, I'm of late doing my bets. I have been winning. I'm up by £10. So I've done the equivalent. I think I've done the equivalent of £25 worth of bets, give or take. And I've taken home £35. profit in that. But yeah, and that's all been based on correct scores from either myself, the history, or form. Now, interestingly enough, it's the history that's been coming through for me regarding the correct scores. So I'm going to be looking at the history and dictating what's going to be going on there. But certainly this whole thing of is this double Gameweek a trap or not? Nah, fuck it, just go for it. You know, like I say, I do find that people just delve so much into this. It's like I said the other day on that video I put out, this whole effective ownership, data from X, Y, and Z. I mean, I saw, because of somebody that, like I said to you on Twitter now, they've got your main thread can either be for you or following. And mine's already automatically on for you. And, you know, various people that I follow, it then comes up with things that they're liking, or in fact, it also comes up with, just because the fact that you're following these individuals, a post will come through because they're following that person, even though they haven't liked it or commented on it. And I saw one person did like an 8-page, if not a 10-page thread on Liverpool assets. And I thought, and this is generally what I thought. I thought, fair play to you. If you've got that amount of time to put into writing all of that out, and they put a hell of a lot of effort into it, I've got a lot of respect for you. But technically the conclusion was essentially, go with Salah, go with Darwin, and if you want to take a punt, go with Gakpo or Trent or Robertson. Yeah, thanks for that. You know, I don't mean that in a disingenuous way, but I just look at it and think, oh, this is why I don't look at any of this stuff. It's like Dread FPL says, do your own research. Yes, things like that help you. But overall, you know, it's like I said to Vince the other day on when he came on, and he asked me the question, you know, how are you doing this season? Why are you doing so bad, or worse to that effect? And I just said, because every season I'm an idiot. I don't go through with my own thought processes. All right, Stephen, calm down. It's like Bilal says, your thought processes is there. It's just that you don't go through with it. Because I'm weak, and like I said, I'm weak. Now, I'm not suggesting for 1 minute if I went through with my thought processes that I'd be in Harry's position here, 1,000th in the world, but I reckon I'd be 100, maybe 200, 1,000 places better off. So rather than being 950,000th in the world, I'd be 750,000th, as a simple example. Because if I just went with my own decision making, and even based on history and stuff, that's why I went against the Haaland captaincy this week, because form dictated that Haaland, there's a chance that Nottingham Forest gets something out of this game. I still in my head said Man City will win, but I just felt that there was a higher field of goals for Man United against Leicester than there was for Man City. That's all it was. And it ended 1-1. And Nottingham Forest are still unbeaten since September. At home. Always back Nottingham Forest at home. Whereas Man United, on the other hand, always back them at home. Ten Hag is installing this we go to Old Trafford. It's not quite there yet, but from me as a viewer and observer of this, you go to Man United, you ain't winning. And the likelihood of you scoring is quite low. Now, I'm a hypocrite because when it comes to Burnley, people out there like yourselves are going to be thinking, yeah, but why are you so negative on Burnley or whatever? And it's because when you're the fan, when you're the supporter of that club, you've seen it all before. You've seen the whole thing, like with Sean Dyche as an example. It's whenever we used to go 1-0 up, it was then, right, defend. Don't capitalise on the fact that you've gone 1-0 up. We're playing really, really well. We've just gone 1-0 up. Keep playing the way we're playing. Nah. Let's go from a 4-4-2 to a 4-5-1. And try and play a possession-based game. No! It's not the way you train your fucking players. So stop fucking pretending and trying to do something that you can't. You're better off just sticking to the way you normally play, and there's a high chance you're going to get decent results. Again, I'm not taking away anything what Sean Dyche did for us. Incredible. But it's why Vincent Kompany's doing so fucking well for us. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't know the direct ins and outs of why we're doing so well this season compared to other established championship teams, or more specifically, more teams in the championship that have got a team in which it's more elder statesmen, shall we say. We're just a bunch of kids. In fact, if I look at Burnley's team, if you look at our team here and see the age of each of our players, each of our main players, I think the average age is about 18. I don't mean that literally. But what Vincent Kompany has done is gone, this is my plan. This is how we play. This is how we're going to execute it. So Josh Brownhill is going to be one of our eldest players. And it doesn't come up with their age. Oh yeah, there it is, there. He's 27. He's one of the oldest players in our squad. Taylor Harwood-Bellis, admittedly he's injured at the moment. He's 21. Ian Matson, 20. Zawari, 22. Cullen, again, he's another one of our elders, 26. Nathan Teller, 23. Murich, 24. As I keep scrolling, Connor Roberts, 27. Vitinho, 23. Scott Twine, 23. They're just kids. All in their very, very early 20s. And Vincent Kompany's goal at the start of the season was, I want to get top 6. But this is what happens when you... The thing is, right, when you install team mentality, and this is the focus, this is the way we are going to do this, and everybody comes together. It's a bit like with Man United at the moment. When everybody comes together as a team, not relying on fucking Ronaldo, guess what happens? Everybody works together and the results come naturally. It's like at my place of work, for example. It's when I'm literally on my own in charge of the shop, guess what, everybody? Everybody's happy. Everybody gets on with their fucking jobs. And does the shop burn down? No. Does anything serious happen while I'm there? Where people don't know what they're doing? No. People are just like, Steve-O's in charge. He's not going to get on my back. I'm just going to get on with my job. And that's it. And because of that, we get the job done quicker and easier. Unlike when the actual manager's there, who's a complete fucking arsehole, doesn't have a fucking clue what he's doing, and every 5 seconds, Steve, we need to make sure that this is done and this is done. And I'm looking at him like, can't you do it? Because I've got more important things to be doing than that. Because you can do it. Steve, we have a problem. What's that? Sarah hasn't turned up for work. Right? Then you cover it then. By you doing her job. Like I would do. Because he can't be bothered to work, it just all goes to shit. It just crumbles around. The point I'm trying to get at is that with the likes of Burnley, Man United and so on, when you've got that team ethic, results will come naturally. And yeah, there is going to be naivety in that team, like when they played against Man United. Admittedly, like I said, they put in a decent performance. It's like Vince Chapman said, it was a reality check. You're coming up against the big boys now. And admittedly, Man United played virtually a full-strength team that day. In fact, when I look at their team on that specific day, you had, where is it here? Man United. There we are there. So they beat us 2-0. This was on the 21st of December. Bloody hell. This was Man United's team that day. So Dubravka in goal. Wan-Bissaka. Casemiro, remember him, he was in defence. Lindelof and Malacia. McTominay and Eriksen. Rashford, Fernandes, Garnacho and Martial. That was virtually a Man United first team, barring Garnacho, Casemiro in defence, and Dubravka. Wan-Bissaka's first choice. Lindelof, okay, Lindelof, he ain't first choice, is he? But Wan-Bissaka, Malacia, Eriksen, Rashford, Fernandes, Martial, that's 6 players first team. Whereas in our case, we had of first teamers Maatsen, Harwood-Bellis, Roberts, Cullen, Brownhill and Barnes, so 6. So we both played 6 first teamers each, although I would argue Ashley Barnes isn't, but he's a newborn player now. It's ironic, isn't it? Every player that I slag off ends up turning into the greatest player on the planet. Like Harry Kane as an example. Never going to buy him, even if he scored a goal a game. So what happens? He scores a goal a game. Ashley Barnes, I said to my uncle a few weeks back, he's just not good enough. Since then, he's scored in every single game. And by all accounts, he's playing out of his skin because he's playing a different role. Who shall I slag off next? Salah? But yeah, the point being is that they went to Old Trafford, they put in a solid performance, and, you know, at the end of the day, they came out on top Man United 2-0. And so that there is a bit of potentially naivety in that squad and stuff, and a lot of learning. But I think underneath Company, they will learn a lot. It's the same as Man United underneath Ten Hag. He's finally got rid of the, shall we say, the problems in the team. Ronaldo being one of them. Like I've said before on members' videos and stuff, there's an individual in my place of work that's... When I say the equivalent of Ronaldo, I don't mean in the fact that they're very good at their job, because let's get real here, Ronaldo is he's an exceptional football player. Now, why ever he's gone to Saudi Arabia, I couldn't give a shit about, to be honest with you, but he's an exceptional player. And like this individual at my place of work, they are there full time, but the issues that they cause with the team means that the team don't perform. It's the same with Ronaldo. It's no coincidence that now he's gone. Oh, Man United performing really, really well. And that's why, from my point of view, with Burnley this year, this young team, because Vincent Kompany's got this team mentality with them, and you will fight for the shirt, it's working. Every time I watch Burnley play, it is just fighting and fighting for the ball. Now, ironically, when I saw them in person at QPR, I thought they were having a bit of a bad day and they won 3-0. I thought they were having a bad day and they won 3-0. And that was back in December again, 11th of December. And looking on whoscored.com at the moment, despite the fact the ratings are very, very high and everything, again, the match was pretty meh. I felt the passing was off. But again, this is just me literally sat by the dugout and watching it with my own eyes. That's just one game. But it's completely different when you're watching it on TV and you've got the bird's eye view. I'm sure anybody that, like Brew, for example, that goes to Tottenham all the time, it's a completely different experience watching something. It's like me with gigs, actually. It's a completely different experience watch a band in person than it is just listening to them all the time via Spotify or whatever. Completely different. When I go to a gig and I hear the first fucking pig squeal or breakdown, it's like, right, I've got to get in the pit right now. I've got to mosh. I've just got to get in that pit and fucking let loose. Because this is fucking amazing. I remember watching Distant as an example. And they, in fact, I can play them, Jason. So, for instance, when Distant came on, the gig itself I was a bit disappointed with. This specific band came on and they just opened up with a breakdown, and surprise surprise, Spotify isn't opening up. I mean, are you taking the fucking piss? What the fuck's going on here? When I actually want Spotify to work, it's gone. Brilliant. That saved your ears. Is it going to work now? Thank you. Piece of shit. But yeah, the second Distant came on, and the singer just opened up with a fucking pig squeal and then a breakdown, I was literally just like, I'm going in the pit right now. I'm getting in that pit right now. And this is them. Should probably be a song with a... When you see this live and you're there in person, it is so different to that. Yeah, when you're in the gym or whatever, or you're, however you consume music, or whatever you're doing when you're consuming music, yeah, it's great and it gives you whatever emotion you want. But when you're seeing it in person, it's like either A, you're fucking having to dance, mosh around, do whatever, essentially dance, or B, like with a lot of bands that I see, and unfortunately it's the big established bands I watch and I go, yeah, Amua as an example, they are the most dullest band I've ever seen on stage, so I never watch them live ever again. In fact, ironically, that specific gig, Despised Icon were headlining, and I was just like, yeah, you are very, very tight live, extremely tight live, and it does blow me away, but on stage it's just, it's not enjoyable to watch. But someone will come back to me and go, yeah, but Despised Icon are fucking amazing. Yeah, but I'm watching them live. And going back to the football side of things, when you watch a team live, it's a completely different experience. Again, who the fuck am I to say that after watching one football match in my life for the first time in about 15 years? About 2007 it was, 2007, 2008. Under Owen Coyle was the last time I watched Burnley in person. Plymouth Argyle, we lost, of course. A mistake from our goalkeeper, Brian Jensen. But yeah, the point overall is that when you've got like these team ethics involved and you're performing as a team and enjoying playing with one another, the results are there. And I have no idea why I've just been talking about all of that. I can't even think. But we'll get on with this. I say this double game week 25. We'll just quickly get on with the teams, the top four in that members league. And certainly in Harry's case right now, as you can see up on the screen, he is set up pretty well. There's a lot of factors to face into this with the upcoming Game Week 28 blank as a simple example. I'm sure Harry, in fact I know Harry will have a plan in place. Do you, Steve? Do you know that he has a plan? But for this game week as an example, Kepa, Kilman, White, De Bruyne, Saka, Odegaard, Haaland, Kane, Mahrez. So he's got 9. Of that 9, he has 4 double game week players in Odegaard, Saka, Kilman and White. And I'm guessing that Harry does the De Bruyne out for Salah and Kane out for Darwin. That's my assumption. He's got 0.7 in the bank. I'm assuming it would have to be for a -4. No. He could, in theory, do it for free because he's got 2 free transfers. The last time he did a transfer was in Game Week 23. So that's what I'm assuming Harry's doing. Because, like Jason mentioned from Fantasy Football Scout with the whole shield or sword, he wants to protect himself. So Kane, who... Here's the thing with me jinxing players. Since me bringing in Kane, he's essentially done nothing. Like I said, without going down this rabbit hole of repeating myself, but I will, because I am bitter. Since bringing in Harry Kane, 2 points, 5 points, 6, 8, 2, 5. Since bringing in Kane. Prior to that, 16, 2, 7, 11, 8, 1, 8, 2, 9, 7. That goes all the way to Game Week 10. So, yeah, Kane and De Bruyne are out for Darwin and Salah, or I don't know if it's possible or not. I don't know. Or it could be Kane out for Darwin and Mahrez out for Salah, if that's even possible. So I don't think it is. And then he captains Salah. Then obviously, with his chips left and everything, moving forward, he's in a very, very good place. So at that point, he'll then have Kepa in goal, Kilman, White in defence, Odegaard, Saka, Salah, Mahrez in midfield, and then up front, Haaland and Darwin. Again, this is just pure speculation as to what probably Harry is going to do. But again, this is a guy who's 1,000, just under 2,000th in the world. So this may make you feel good about yourself going into this double game week knowing, well, I've got 8 double game week players, I've got 9, I've got 6. This is when it gets interesting with the guy in second spot, who again is doing exceptionally well. Potentially having the best season of his life, a bit like with whatchamacallit? Like I always compare it to Man City and Liverpool last year. Both teams having exceptional seasons, and Man City clinch it. So this is no weak foot's team. For this double, he's got Sarr in goal, De Bruyne, Odegaard, Mudryk, João Felix. Wow, he's got 5. Oh, Haaland. Yeah, is that what I said? Sarr, Odegaard, Mudryk, João Felix, Haaland, De Bruyne. 6. 6 double game week players. Oh, sorry. 6 blank players, but he's only got the 2 double game weekers. So he's another one. I'm going to assume, this is a player who is 12,000th in the world. 12,257, 12,000th in the world. And yet, he's only got 6, but only 2 double game week players. So last year, in 2021-2022, no week foot ended up 30,000th. Prior to that, 3 million, 4 million. So last season, he had his best season ever. This season, even better. So there's a bit of a pattern forming here. He's getting better every year. 4 millionth, 3 millionth, 30,000th. Now he's 12,000th. Now, for all I know, these people could be playing free hits. They could be hitting their wild cards. Could be taking -8s, -12s. I don't know. Third spot, we got Luke Jones, who again, having an absolutely exceptional season. 3rd in the Members League. Here's his team up on the screen. Is there a reason why these guys are top? Because they're not falling for this trap of double game week players. Blank game week players. Leno in goal. I'm sure he's got... So Leno in goal. That's 1. Tarkowski 2. De Bruyne 3. Saka 4. Odegaard 5. Nketiah 6. Kane 7. Haaland 8. Bueno 9. Although... Could be could be potential risk rotation. Andreas 10. Perraud 11. So Luke Jones, as it stands right this second, 11 game week players. I'm going to assume he's bringing in Salah for Kevin De Bruyne. He can do that as well. He's got the money. And then that'll be it. In fact, Toffee Men, for someone doing so well like yourself, 45,000th in the world, even though I'd be tempted to get rid of Kane for Darwin, I'd be in your shoes. I'd be tempted. It would be for a -4, but De Bruyne and Darwin out for Salah and Darwin, -4. Captain Salah. You'll then have 6 double game week players. Albeit one of them, Bueno, is a bit of a rotation risk. So Bueno, Nketiah, Saka, Odegaard, Salah, Darwin. Oh, and Tarkowski, so you'll have 8. You have 8 double game week players at that point. So very, very, very interesting from them. I am going to be fascinated to see what these guys do, but more importantly, like I said, I'm going to be fascinated by what Jason does. Because Jason's team, he's storming it at the moment. It's getting on my nerves. It's getting on my fucking nerves that he's now getting that luck in. Everything he seems to touch is turning to gold. Don't know why he just doesn't play the lottery. So he'll probably end up winning that. But his team as it stands right now is in a good situation. Like I said, I think he takes a -4. So he'll have Ward in goal. Bueno, White in defence. He's then got Saka, Salah, Nketiah, probably Darwin, Haaland, and Mahrez. And Ben White. Oh, did I say Ben White? Bueno, White, Mahrez, Haaland, Kane, Nketiah, De Bruyne, Saka, Ward. Yeah, so he's got 8, and then he'll get rid of De Bruyne for Salah, Kane for Darwin for a -4. That's what I think Jason does. Which in turn means he'll have Nketiah, Saka, White as his double game week players, along with Bueno, Salah, and Darwin. So he'll have 6 double game week players. And it's just a case of, right, can I ride this boat going into game week 26? Because for game week 28, he's then set up beautifully when he's already got the 2 Brighton. No, 27, sorry, is the double game week, isn't it? For Brentford and Brighton, is that right? Sure it is. I'm almost certain the Brentford double up. Yeah. So the Brentford double up game week 27. He's already got the Brighton 2. In 2 very, 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 very favourable fixtures. And then it's a case of if he can be bothered to get in any Brentford or not. It's down to him at that point. Then it comes to game week 28, where Harbour Boy brought to my attention about who's blanking and who's not. And we've only got 4 teams that are guaranteed to play. And I've written it down here. So here you go, Harbour Boy. This is the research I did. Can't rip it out, of course, because I'm an idiot. But yeah, there's the. I don't want Jason seeing. There's the plans in place. The guaranteed starters for game week 28. So Nottingham Forest versus Newcastle. Well, Jason's already got the Newcastle fellas in there, like most of us, to be fair. He's got Trippier. So he's got Trippier. And then he's got the Arsenal triple up, as it stands right now. The problem is that it looks like they're probably going to be the only 4 games going, because either, here we go, Harbour Boy, I've got a 60% chance of Wolves versus Leeds going. Now, for anybody that doesn't know, which is highly unlikely, game week 28 is when the FA Cup ties are being played. And a lot of the Premier League teams in the last 16 have all got favourable fixtures. There's a couple of, Premier League ties, but unfortunately those ties, for instance, if West Ham were to beat Man United, their game against Man City would be called off. However, they're playing Man City, and Man City are away at Bristol City. So Man City are going through. So that game's gone. As just a very, very simple example. But Wolves versus Leeds, I've got as a 60% chance of happening in game week 28, because Wolves' fixture in the FA Cup, or Leeds' fixture, yeah, Leeds away at Fulham it is. And to be honest with you, if Fulham, want to give a cup run a go, they should be beating Leeds. And I think that, Fulham at home are pretty solid. I think it'd be the classic thing of a high scoring game, like a 3-2 either way. But I think, yeah, Wolves going through Should be pretty easy as I just cough because my mouth is getting really dry now. I've been speaking for exactly 1 hour. So let me mute that. Yeah, so there's a 6% chance of that happening. And then the Brentford versus Leicester game I've got as 50% happening. So Leicester at home to Blackburn. You may be thinking, yeah, but Leicester are the Premier League team against the Championship team. Yeah, but Blackburn are pretty good this season. And if they want to take the cup seriously, which I think they should, I think both teams should, yes, Leicester have a solid chance, but Blackburn this season are pretty solid, albeit their away record is this is when I get caught out, isn't it? Their away record is terrible. 1-5, drawn 3, lost 9, only scored 13, conceded 24. So, in fact, Leicester versus Brentford probably isn't going to be happening. Now looking at that. I think Blackburn give them a game. I think they do give them a game. So yeah, I've got it as 50%. But yeah, still. But a lot of us are going to be in the mud. But obviously, there was a double game week 29 announced yesterday. So those double game week players or teams are Bournemouth, Brighton, Leeds, Nottingham Forest, Leicester, Aston Villa, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United, Brentford, West Ham, Newcastle. Now, my immediate, because I've only just looked at this right this second, Liverpool away at both Man City and Chelsea. Forget it. You can forget it. Chelsea, on the other hand, at home to Aston Villa and Liverpool. Again, they're not exactly tempting fixtures, are they? Who are the other big teams? Man United at home to Brentford and away at Newcastle. Horrible fixtures. Horrific. West Ham, though, beautiful. They're at home to Southampton and they're at home to Newcastle. They're not bad. Brentford, the next best team, are away at Brighton and away at Man United. Brighton, away at Bournemouth, at home to Brentford. That's really good as well. Leeds, at home to Nottingham Forest and away at Arsenal. And then Nottingham Forest are at home to Wolves. There's your clean sheet. And then away at Leeds. Leicester, that's another team to be looking at. Away at Crystal Palace and at home to Aston Villa. Great fixtures. In fact, I'd argue that potentially Leicester have got the best fixtures there from an attacking perspective. Harvey Barnes, Maddison, Iheanacho. I could write a 10-page thread on that. And then Aston Villa away at Chelsea, away at Leicester. So, of all those teams, Leicester and Brighton are probably my two favourite teams, and West Ham. West Ham, Leicester, and Brighton are probably my three favourite teams of double game week 29. And what does Jason have in that? He's got the two Brighton, Matoma and Estepinian. And that's it. That's all he's got. So yeah, this could be one of those where I saw Cage Paps had written in the members chat that could be the week where he decides, you know what, I'm going to probably use my free hit in In fact, there it is there. I might give free hit for game week 29 a thought or two. And that's exactly it. That is exactly what I'm thinking. You've got Harbour Boy here saying that I always feel like it's a waste to free hit on those big double game weeks because there are so many doubling teams that most of your squad will already be doubling. Yes, but I think that you want to take advantage of the teams with the best fixtures. I understand where you're coming from. You know, when I look at my team here in that double game week 29, you know, we've got the likes of United, Newcastle, Chelsea, Liverpool because of this double game week. That's 3 teams. So I've already got, 6 or 7 players. 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's 4. But you may want to maximise out on the teams that have got the best fixtures. Like I said, Leicester, you've got the triple up in attack. That's 3. West Ham, Bowen, so that's 4. Maybe a defender, that's 5. Brighton, Matoma, Estepinian, that's up to 7. And then if you may want to go with a defensive player, that's then 8. Bournemouth, you know, they're no mugs at home. 2 home fixtures, tight games. May get a defensive, may get a clean sheet in one of them. So that takes you up to 9, 10 double gaming players. Chelsea, if you want to put out a push. These are just differential ideas. If you really want to go all in on the free hit. But Harbour Boy has got a fair point there. But certainly, looking at that, those 3 teams I mentioned, West Ham, Brighton and Brentford. Leicester, Brighton and West Ham have got the better fixtures. So we've got, 4 game weeks before that. 4 game weeks before that double game week. And then obviously as we move even more forward with the FA Cups and everything, further down the line with game week 31, 32, 33 and so on. There's going to be even more double game weeks announced. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but certainly from as Vince said, when you've got all your chips in place, like the likes of me, this is when it comes into your advantage, whereas people like Jason are going to have to, if required, are going to be taking hits. You know, if I quickly go on Ben Krellin here for a second on Twitter, I may find out some basic information where he goes, well, the likelihood... Oh, here we are here. Right, here we go. So, game week 28, he's got here covered for... He's got it as a 0.15% chance of Leicester playing in... Leicester playing in the blank game week, he's got it as a 0.15% chance. Yeah. So if we move forward, it's game week 32, an unlikely blank game week for Southampton, West Ham, Wolves, Tottenham or Brighton, Arsenal, Bournemouth, Leicester. And it's all just there. So we're talking between game weeks 32 and 34. We could be having some double game weeks here with the likes of Crystal Palace, if I'm looking at it here. Crystal Palace, Liverpool, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Fulham, Wolves. So yeah, there's a lot of thinking going on here, but we're going way too far ahead of ourselves here. But it does This is the year. This is the year. This is when the shit hits the fan. And some teams are in the right place, and some aren't. And can it be possible to catch Jason's, what is he, 86 points clear, something like that, of me right now? And yeah, okay, Vince can bang on about the fact that why you just focus on the Jason, just think about your own team. You are right, I am thinking about my own team. Don't worry about what Jason's doing, but it's just a conversation piece, isn't it? From a rivalry perspective. How he's doing and everything. 95... 1505. Yeah, he's 75 points clear of me, give or take. Yeah, very, very interesting stuff. But yeah, certainly this double game week specifically, I think if you can take advantage of it, you fucking take advantage of it. You fucking go for it. If you can get 8 double game week players in, brilliant. I think the average amount of double game week players people will have will be what, 5 at an average. But I think that is getting pushed up because of Bueno. That gets pushed up because of Bueno. I think with the fact that Bueno's minutes of late have been hit or miss, I think certainly we can't be relying on Bueno to be starting both games. He could. Obviously. I mean, if I look at whoscored.com and the fact that they put up their seasonal team, so the most regular starters for that team, Bueno is there. Bueno is there as a player in which they've got as... But again, it's all based on how many times they've started for Wolves. Whereas when you look at reality, last 3 fixtures, minutes played, 0, 45, 61. Prior to that, 80, 82, 78, 72, 58, 90, 90, 90. That goes all the way down to game week 14. From game week 22. So he didn't play against Liverpool. Now, these are tactical reasons. I don't have a fucking clue. Speak to James from Planet FPL. I don't know any of this stuff. I can only go on literally what I'm seeing in front of me. But certainly Bueno is somebody that you know, could be somebody that could miss out on one of the games. But then what are you expecting from him? A potential clean sheet against Fulham, which is possible. Fulham without Mitrovic could be a difficult task. But their last 6 fixtures in all competitions, 1-0, these are wins, 1-0 Fulham, 2-0 Fulham, 0-0. Fulham like to keep clean sheets. That's their last 3 fixtures. So it's going to be tight. Me personally predicting it, probably 1 or 2-0 Fulham, to be honest with you. Like I say, Fulham at home, they're very good. They're solid enough. Like I said, like I like to say a lot, they're no mugs at home. You know, their last fixtures at home, this is when I'm going to be proven wrong, lost 2, won 3, drawn 1. Those wins at home, 2-0 against Nottingham Forest. They lost to Tottenham, only 1-0. It's Tottenham. They beat Chelsea 2-1. They beat Southampton 2-1. Here we go, Bilal. They lost to Man United Can I hear you? 2-1. And they drew with Everton 0-0. Scored 20 goals, conceded 16. They've only lost 3 times this season at home. Wolves, on the other hand, away from home this season. 1-2, drawn 3, lost 6, scored 8, conceded 17. And like I said, their results are literally all over the place. Lost 2, drawn 2, 1-2. So yeah, I wouldn't be expecting much from Bueno. Yeah, there we have it. There's me. Done. An hour and 15 minutes. Christ almighty. But yeah, that's kind of like the free members video, so to speak. But, you know, I am... yeah, it's going to be, like I say, if you join them, if you want to follow all of this story mode, come to us on Friday, because Jason's obviously going to be revealing what he's done. I'll be revealing what I've done. I know that a lot of people, well, I'd like to think there'll be people coming on wondering what the fuck to do. There will be people out there that are like, genuinely, I don't know what. It's like Ricky Gervais says to Patrick Stewart. I don't know what to do. I'm sorry, Patrick. I don't know what to do. And hopefully me and Jason can help you. Or fuck you up. On that note, cheers for watching. See you later.